morning, Facebook Live peeps. Happy St. Patrick's Day. And fully relying on God. This is Judy Matejczyk, Life Master Consultant, here at Serenity Gardens, one more time, with perspective. Yeah, perspective. Whoa. And I want to apologize for not being... Hi, Miriam. How are you doing? Happy day, Serenity Gardens. I came out here to pray today, and I brought my little buddy here, one of them, my little frog friend. And you know, I love it. This is a frog that I found, and he's got bug eyes, and he is solar powered, and at night his eyes light up. You know, knowing that we get our power from the source, the one love, and that in the dark we can light up. And beside my little buddy frog is my pouch of picture. Now, inside the pouch, I'm a little choked up today. I'm honest, I've slept for 15 hours last night. I have a story. This is a story to tell about releasing and letting go and perspective. So inside this little pouch right now, I carry around the ashes of my one dog, Bonnie, and as of yesterday, a little snippet of hair from my dog, Purdy. I came home from training. I've been in Los Angeles, for those of you who've been watching me, for intensive advanced training in life coaching that I've been doing with Mary Morsey and the team. Well, I almost didn't go because my dog Purdy, and you've seen her before, and I didn't really tell you before, but she had cancer. And it was really hard for me to leave, knowing that she was in her last legs. But I have this beautiful daughter, Julie, who took care of her while I was gone. And so I was able to fully get into the experience. And she texted me the last day we were there and said, "Mom, it's time." And I went to the back of the room and found Joe Dickey, who's, those of you know Joe, he's Mary's husband and singer, songwriter. Anyway, he asked me, he looked at me and he said, "Judy, how good are you at breathing?" This is all going to be a lesson for you guys. How good are you at breathing? And I'm like, And he said, yeah, because when something is going on that you have no control over, and it's a big one, like, it's very important to breathe. And he said, just breathe. And keep breathing that deep breath, because it helps your body get through to the other side of anything, and helps you stay present to each moment. So I started breathing, and I went and finished training, and it was really hard for me to sleep that night because I was flying out Thursday morning. And I was breathing. I wasn't sure if she was going to be alive when I got home. You know, all those what ifs. And when I was breathing, it was like, stay in the moment. Put your next foot in front of you. You can do this. So I breathed all the way back on the airplane and got into my spiritual practice, got in my little smart car, and I went home. And it was like all the drive home, it was like, just breathe. Breathe. You never know what God has in store from you. So I got in my house, and Purdy came to the door, and she was wagging her tail. I'm like, whoa, she's so glad to see me. And I'm like, whoa, you're here. I was like, so happy. And she wagged her tail, and she went over, and she laid down, and she like, whoa, that took all right. But she was waiting for me. And that just was so powerful. So we spent that night, you know, sleeping, and she hadn't eaten for maybe about a week, and, you know, very obviously ready to, you know, whatever. to leave. And so I okay, I'm going to make the appointment for the vet yesterday. So we woke up, and I thought, well, I'm going to take her for one last walk. And we went out and went on the walk, and she collapsed halfway through the walk. And I'm like, okay, now, who is this really for? It's really time. So I put her in the car, and we drove to the vet, and was able to hold her and say goodbye as she took her last breath. And I want to tell you like this because there's so many spiritual practices throughout this whole whatever event. One of them is to breathe and staying connected. Two, your lives are connected with every single person you meet, especially the ones that you love. And three, it's important to let them go when they need to go. And four, there are so many people out there to help you let go. So in this vet, it was in a back room, and they're so loving, and they light a candle up in the waiting room so that all the other animal people up there who have their animals there are quiet in respect for what's happening in the back. Isn't that cool? So, I was able to pet her and everything, and she left, and you could feel their spirit leaving the body, and it was like, good. I stayed there for a little while, and I got in my car, and I drove home, and I just started to cry. And I'm like, oh, I'm supposed to do Facebook Live. Oh, I'm supposed to do this. I'm supposed to do that. And like God says, no, you're not. Just stay here and cry. So I cried for a while, and I got in bed, and I fell asleep. And I'm honest, that was yesterday, and I'm just waking up right now to a brand new baby day. It was harder to wake up this morning because I didn't have a dog to put out this morning. But I every Saturday, as those of you who've been following me know that I meditate with this group of people, and it was important for me to get to my group to meditate with and to keep breathing and knowing. So I think the lesson started out today was on perspective when you wake up, knowing that we all have a birth date, we all have a date when we're leaving this planet, and it's important every single breath and that you take throughout this day is so, so important. So, I grabbed my frog and my pouch, and here I'm in the same clothes as I had on yesterday. But inwardly I feel so different, rearranged. And this is to be continued. And there are no mistakes that this happened at this time, because this whole series was the journey towards Easter. The reason Easter is so cool, it's a resurrection after a death on this plane, and letting go. So the letting go of Purdy and watching her take her last breath yesterday was part of my experience, and I'm combining these two in one day because I fell asleep yesterday, and knowing that you'll forgive me for that. And so I'm here, I'm awake, I'm alive, rearranging, and at Serenity Gardens, which is perfect for today, with my frog, forever relying on God, and my little pouch. Hang on. The cool thing is, there are so many cool things about this. You know how when something happens and you go into like, wow, what is this to teach me? The cool thing is, I have a frog to remind me, fully rely on God. And the other cool thing is that this is a pouch that was given to me at Christmas that now holds my 2 dogs. And the other cool thing is this connection I have with Unity of Wimberley, which is, man, if you're ever in Texas, you have to like go check it out. It's on a ranch. In order to get there, you go through across this bridge with water going through it. It's just beautiful. And my dog Bonnie is under a giant oak tree out there. And now Purdy gets to be with her. They really were missing each other. So, whatever it is today that you are experiencing and transitioning into, know that you are alive today. You are important today. You make a difference to every single person and creature and bird and fire ant. Everything is part of your experience of today. Be awake, be alive, grasp it, learn it, live it, love it. Judy Matejczyk here, Life Master Consultant. Blessing you today.